Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the main roster, which is a production of The Jazz Show. We're all new today with some brand new flashy graphics and live on all kinds of places: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer. I think I've got them all. Maybe I've forgotten one. I'm not sure. Joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Daniel Trudgett. How are you doing today, Daniel?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Jeremy?
I'm all right. I'm weirdly more nervous for this episode than I have been for any other. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm tinkering and playing with stuff a lot more, and concerned that something might go wrong. So if it does, don't kill me immediately.
I'll try not to.
But we have got a lot of things to discuss from Raw and SmackDown, and eventually get to some predictions for the Backlash pay-per-view that's coming on this weekend. Shall we kick straight into what we have to talk about?
Yeah, I think we'll dive straight in. So to begin, we have SmackDown. And to start off SmackDown, Jeff Hardy explains he was ambushed getting out of his car, woke up reeking of alcohol, and being handcuffed by the police. Eyewitnesses saw a man with red hair and beard fleeing the scene. Jeff puts two and two together and came up with Sheamus. Sheamus has denied his involvement, and a brawl develops between the two men.
2 plus 2 equals Sheamus, and that's maths.
2 plus 2 equals Irish.
It kind of went the way that we were expecting it to when we discussed this last week. And I'm really glad of that they've gone with the Sheamus set him up angle.
Yeah.
It would have been atrocious if they had actually had Jeff Hardy relapse live on TV.
Yes.
So this was really the only way it could go, logically.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always mean that WWE do the logical, normal, sensible thing. So
no,
kudos for going through with the normal.
Yes.
We also discussed last week that it would be a real disappointment if this payoff match that they were going to have at Backlash was just a normal one-on-one match.
Yep.
And so what have they given us, Daniel? Have you noticed?
Normal one-on-one match.
Yay!
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
I can only assume that means we're going to have multiple matches between them. I'm sure we will. They're not going to have a story this big that ends after, well, like a week after they really pay it off. They'll have something here. Maybe the match won't even end. Maybe it will be a double DQ and they'll brawl out into the crowd, or it'll be made a no DQ there and then, or some kind of erroneous thing. But I need to see these guys take a few licks out of each other, take their pound of flesh.
Oh yeah, need to see a proper brawl go on. We all want to see it.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get a quick swerve at Backlash and get it then. If not, we'll have to wait for the next pay-per-view, I suppose.
Yes. But
onwards to the next thing that happened pretty much throughout the entire event of SmackDown, which was from the comfort of a truck in the car park, joint Universal Championship #1 contenders John Morrison and The Miz sat themselves up and observed a number of pranks aimed towards champion Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
After such mishaps as drinking tainted protein shake and narrowly avoiding being covered in green paint, Strowman had had enough. He located their truck and obviously he tipped it over with Miz and Morrison inside.
Yeah, I thought this was quite entertaining.
It was fairly entertaining, but at the same time, not truly befitting the story of #1 contenders for a world championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could go with that.
It was a little bit too much hijinks for a world championship kind of picture.
Yes.
But then again, why are these guys in the World Championship picture in this way. It's slightly bizarre.
Exactly.
Not to get into predictions yet, but I think this is just going to be a massive squash.
Yes.
With Strowman now getting revenge for this nonsense.
Yes.
Having not been able to get his hands on them after all of the pranks that they pulled. But there's no real tension there. It's it's just different than just having a normal match on SmackDown. So
it's just them mucking around, basically.
It is.
Braun Strowman flipping a vehicle, which apparently he's done every year.
He has done it fairly regularly. Yeah, it's impressive. I want to know how they're pulling it off, because obviously, as strong as he is, I don't think he can actually flip a truck.
Yeah.
So we will maybe find out one day with some little jiggery pokery and find out whether there's a cable attached to it pulling it the other end or something. But there must be some shenanigans going on. There has to be something.
There's got to be something. Yeah. Got to be something. I know he's strong, but not that strong.
Okay, I've just realised, in the vein of things going really well, that I've had the wrong title cards up for the first two topics there. So great start, Jazz. Let's get the correct one up for the third topic.
For the third topic, let's go. So, in SmackDown's main event, WWE's Women's Tag Team Champions Bliss Cross Applesauce, my favourite tag team people at the moment, they defended against SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and her friend Sasha Banks after weeks of being taunted for not holding a belt like her buddy Bayley. Sasha Banks finally rectified that as the pair won the Women's Tag Team Championships for the second time in their career. So,
there's a lot of mixed opinions about this.
Yes.
All around the internet. And, well, what do you think of it, first of all? Do you think that they should have won the Women's Tag Team Championships?
I'm not sure, because me obviously loving Alexa Bliss doesn't want Alexa Bliss to obviously lose it. But at the same time, I'm kind of interested to see how the storyline's going to go between Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Yeah. They're going to wait a little longer and pay that off around SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
If at all, they kind of back and forth about whether they're going to do it at all most of the time. I like it. I think it needed to happen. As much as I love Alexa Bliss, and I do, and really enjoy Bliss Cross Applesauce, that tag team, they haven't really done a whole lot with the Women's Tag Team Championships. Right up until last week, when all of a sudden they were in the mix with Sasha and Bayley, and then they were in the mix with the Iconics, and everything was happening at once.
Yeah.
And now everything is still happening at once, because at Backlash we have a triple threat tag team match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think change is a good thing sometimes. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that they're going to hold the belts for a long time. Potentially, I see these guys losing the belts as early as Sunday. So
yeah,
it might just be a way of padding championship reigns, maybe getting the second reign for Sasha and Bayley, and then quickly getting another reign for Bliss Cross Applesauce, another reign for the Iconics.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happens coming out of Sunday, at least one of these teams will have been two-time tag team champions.
Yes, but
Sasha and Bayley already are.
Yeah, there's not that many female tag teams in WWE at the moment.
No, and with the men's roster, you have dedicated tag teams.
Yes.
And other than the Iconics, there aren't any pure women's tag teams. You did have Fire and Desire, I would say that they were a pure tag team.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But as you say, that's gone.
Yeah.
You've got the Iconics.
Yeah.
Sasha and Bailey are singles competitors.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are singles competitors that have been put together.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's about it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And unless you go down to, there's a lot of kind of quote unquote women's tag teams in NXT. But even then, most of them are collections of people who are having singles careers. Yes. You've got Dakota Kai and Rain and is it Reina Gonzalez? I can't remember her name now.
Something like that, yeah.
They are classed as a tag team, I believe.
Yeah.
You occasionally have the other of the MMA four horsewomen, Marina Shafir and the tall one, Jessamine Duke.
Yep.
I would call them a tag team rather than singles.
Yeah.
But even going as deep down as NXT, I'm struggling to think of women's tag teams. So that is something that I think WWE need to work on.
Women's Revolution.
Yeah, or just, common sense booking. If you're going to have a tag team division for a subset of people, then you need to have some actual teams for it. It's like if they introduced Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships and then didn't put any Cruiserweight tag teams together. It doesn't matter that we're talking about the women here. It would be the same for the men. If you just had tag team championships and all of the teams were singles competitors bunched together, it would be crap. So do something in developmental, especially as we come out of the coronavirus and you're really kind of resetting some of these young talent that are coming through.
Yeah.
Give them time as pure tag teams.
Yeah.
And see how it works.
Yeah.
Bring the women's tag team titles to NXT more regularly.
Yeah. Get them over all three brands.
Absolutely. That's what they're for. Yeah. Like, I hate the sharing kind of thing that they do normally. I can't remember what they even call it now. The brand invitational.
That's the one.
Or the wild card rule, as it used to be. That's utter nonsense. But if you want to spread your talent across the brands, allow champions to roam. Certain championships are allowed to roam.
Yeah.
You're struggling with the tag team championships for the men as well. Merge that into one and let them roam.
Yeah.
Absolutely no reason why not. So,
but,
and on that tangent,
yes,
we should think about moving forward onto our next segment, which is the wonderful Dan's Dirtsheet.
Dirty.
So
I understand you have a number of topics for us in the Dirtsheet this week. Dan, what do you have?
I do. We have 3. So first off, we have about Lacey Evans. Apparently, Vince McMahon has kind of given up on her a little bit. So, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I read this rumor online as well, and it's hard to dispute it when you look at what's been happening with Lacey on television.
Yeah.
But Vince does this.
Yeah, he does. I was really looking forward to seeing Lacey Evans with a title as well. So
we'll have to see whether his opinion changes on a whim, because it often does. But that's not all you have, I understand.
Got another thing as well. So if you watched NXT last week, you saw that Drake Maverick lost his final to Phantasma for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship. But he was given an NXT contract, which is fantastic for him. Good old Spud. But a little rumor that's been going around is some of the superstars that were released recently, well, quite a lot of them, have been given or offered WWE contracts again. But there's one big thing. They will be having a pay cut. They will not be getting what they were before. So,
wasn't the total sum of everyone they released only like 4 million, and they released like 20 people.
Yeah.
So they weren't, compared to some of the guys on the roster and girls, they weren't getting a huge amount. So
I know.
I doubt very many people are going to take up this, right? Maybe some of the real kind of lower card guys that know they're not going to get anywhere else.
Yeah, I know. We'll wait and see.
The Revival are already in AEW.
Yeah, as FTR.
Yeah.
Which I love their name, which is called formerly the Revival.
Well, not according to their interview on Dynamite last week, which suggested that FTR can mean many different things. This week, it stands for the Revolution.
Yeah, we know it's formerly the Revival.
Formerly the Revival. Because they had hashtag FTR on their trunks while they were in WWE.
Yeah.
And there was rumors then that it meant F the Revival.
Yeah.
So, hell, if you want to sabotage yourself.
Yeah. But going on from this rumor, that I found out literally like a couple of hours ago. I'm
going to stop you a second.
Yes.
I haven't heard this rumor.
Yes.
But I know you told me to put a Nexus logo on.
This is not that one. This is something on with the release superstars that I literally found out a couple of hours ago. I just thought I'd throw this in there very quickly.
Okay. Right. Well, after you've done, then I'm still gonna share my idea with you because it's amazing. But carry on.
So Heath Slater, I believe, is going to be at Impact Wrestling Slammiversary because he tweeted that a picture of himself looking quite fit, looking quite well around, and saying that he's ready or something like that. And also Rhino, who is at Impact Wrestling at the moment, not that I follow it at the moment, put on Twitter saying that somebody was asking him to be his tag team partner, and he said no, he's already got a tag team partner and he's got kids. So
okay, yeah, they used to be a tag team, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think that he's going to be at Slammiversary.
That's cool. I mean,
so that's my little extra bit because he's a release superstar. But
yeah,
now on to the big bit. So, and it's about the Nexus. So, as Jeremy's wearing his Nexus shirt, so go on. What's your?
So, if they did actually manage to get any of these released superstars back, it would be amazing to use a kind of Nexus style story with them where they brought them back and it wouldn't be the Nexus, it would be something completely new, kind of Forgotten Sons-esque, but without the racist guy in it. That's another story for another podcast, I believe.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
But so all of these guys who lost their jobs during the coronavirus and were screwed over, all coming in and just taking over and nexusing all over the place. That would be really cool. Is that the rumor?
No.
Oh.
So this is a bit of information / rumor. So Darren Young, former Nexus member, former WWE employee, has gone on record saying that at WrestleMania 36, it was planned that the Nexus would come back. Like the original
How
members.
long ago was 36? Because I really struggle with these numbers.
I think that was the one that's just gone.
Okay, so this year was 36.
Yeah, so it was this year he was planned, but yeah, it was this year because he went on to say, but because of the coronavirus, because of the situation, that kind of got a bit cancelled. But then he went on to say that does not mean it will not happen.
Not happen. Okay.
So possibly the Nexus will return.
I think they've definitely got a place in WWE. That kind of massive force of a stable really worked, and I think that's the reason that the Nexus was so successful to begin with. At least, obviously, it tapered off fairly quickly when they wanted to try and draw some people out and make main event stars out of them. But the way that they debuted is one of the more memorable debuts in all of wrestling ever. Like I put it up there with the formation of the NWO as a shocking what the hell just happened moment, especially when you throw in Daniel Bryan choking Justin Roberts with his tie and then getting fired for it immediately. So there's so many unforgettable moments from that whole era, and for me that was when things really turned around, because I know you have differing opinions on this, but I just feel like 2006 through kind of 2009, 2010 was just so bland and stale. And I feel like the Nexus and then CM Punk and his pipe bombs were really things that brought WWE back out of kind of the meh era of the late 2000s. So I would be excited to see the Nexus again. I don't even need it to be the same members, because I don't think they're going to get your Wade Barretts and your Rybacks back.
No,
to be honest. So mix it up, add some new members,
but it
bring back impersonating John Cena by all means.
It has been 10 years since they debuted.
Yes, yeah, I saw that on their WWE Network.
It's crazy. But anyway, and that was my dirt sheet.
Dirty, dirty, dirty.
Yes.
Moving on then. Via satellite, once again, Rey Mysterio gave us another non-update on his status, as Seth Rollins sat with the commentary team at ringside to share his own message. I found the advert breaks in this section to be absolutely diabolical, with one taking place just as we were expecting Rey to start talking, and another at the very moment that Aleister Black attacked Seth Rollins at ringside. Then, after a forgettable Black and Carrillo versus Murphy and Theory match, Rollins returned under Mysterio's mask and music, and the Messiah trio left Aleister Black laying. What did you think?
So Rey's not retiring? Or he is retiring?
Exactly.
What? That's what I was doing. I was like, you going to retire? You're not going to retire? What?
The updates from a person who has no further information than he did the previous week is fairly obtuse. Yeah, pointless. Other negative words. And it was just so that we could have Seth Rollins be at ringside for Aleister Black to attack him. But I wanted to see what actually happened, because Aleister Black landed completely out of nowhere. Like, I watched the clip back again today, and Seth Rollins is looking dead into the camera, and then all of a sudden,
bam,
there is a flash of Aleister Black, and then he's not there anymore. And then they went to commercial. It's like, well, what happened? Did Seth Rollins escape? Did Aleister Black chase him out? Yeah. Did he put his underwear over his head? Anything could have happened. We don't know, because this stupidly timed advert break went in there when it really shouldn't have.
Yeah, and I
know. I did hope / think this was going to be a kind of rant-free episode of the main roster. But I think this might be as close as I'm going to get, because it's just
you're going to get ranty, aren't you?
Stupid. What are you doing? You pre-taped this. You could have put the advert breaks wherever you wanted. You could have timed this however you wanted. And you chose the two worst moments possible from an audience engagement and enjoyment point of view.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this, WWE? This is terrible. It's just awful.
Rant done?
Yeah, I think I'm okay now. Yeah.
For now.
for now. But we've got nothing paying off from this at this pay-per-view.
No.
It's not really gone anywhere.
No.
And I'm kind of done talking about it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm done talking about it as well.
Let's go onwards then.
Let's move swiftly on. So, in some main roster on NXT news, this past weekend at TakeOver in Your House, Charlotte Flair lost her NXT Women's Championship in a triple threat match between her, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. It was Shirai who secured victory in the match, making Jez a very happy man. Finally.
Yes, finally indeed. Right. Like, I think Io Shirai is amazing, and I'm glad that everyone else is finally getting to see that and notice that. She is already, after 0.3 seconds, a much better NXT Women's Champion than Charlotte Flair ever was. And she hasn't done anything yet. She's literally just she's existed.
Yes.
But in a broader sense, I don't think that Charlotte Flair's reign as NXT Women's Champion has been of any use or substance whatsoever.
Of any point?
No. I'm sure the purpose was to kind of boost some of the women in NXT. Or was it?
Yeah.
Or was it to just do something for Charlotte because we're running out of things to do on the main roster?
Because she's the golden child, so we'll give her everything.
And I've watched this week's NXT, and I'm really glad that Charlotte was not there.
Yeah.
Because they advertised her as going back to NXT this week. It's like, no, you're done. Just leave it. Just stay on Raw. I can easily skip you on Raw quite easily. Or I can't because she was most of Raw this week.
Yeah, she was.
But I don't need to see Charlotte every single day of the week. Please leave me alone. I'm done. I'm done with Charlotte.
I'm done with Charlotte. I think this. If it gets any worse, I think you're going to go into your Roman Reigns boycotting.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I think we are heading straight back towards an Asuka versus Charlotte Flair championship match after this thing with Nia Jax is done on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I bet Charlotte will win, and she'll make Asuka look crap again like she did last time.
If Charlotte wins, please start the boycotting.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen. You heard it here first. If Charlotte Flair, within the next couple of months, I don't want to say forever, but if we go straight from the Nia Jax program to a program with Asuka and Charlotte Flair, and she wins the championship, I'm done. Yeah. She's boycotted. Yeah. I will help you, the viewing universe, find ways to entertain yourself for the 20 minutes of Raw that she is on the screen, because it ain't going to be entertaining watching her.
No, it is not. But anyway, I think we need enough of that because,
I nearly got ranty again. Nearly.
Yeah, exactly. I think we need to go on to something else.
Yes.
So now the NXT Women's Championship is now safe with Io Shirai. And if you have a championship belt, it can be safe in the hands of Beltmaster Wrestling Belts. Beltmasters produce quality hand-tooled leather straps for all replica and bootleg belts at the best prices in the UK. They'll listen to exactly what you want and stay in communication throughout the whole process. What's even better than that is that they're offering 10% off to all listeners of the main roster. All you have to do is simply say the code the main roster when you're placing your order. Then, voila, your sexy new leather strap just got cheaper. So visit facebook.com/Beltmaster Inc. That's Beltmaster INC, all one word, to check out their work and find out more. So, bosh. and quite appropriate with my belts hanging behind me.
Absolutely, yeah. New main roster stylings and a new backdrop for you with your belts hanging on Beltmaster hangers.
Yes.
Is that the phrase, the word?
Yeah, belt hangers. That's what I call them anyway. Belt hangers. They're lovely. They're brilliant, and they're a good price as well. Even without the discount, they're a good price. But but
you're listening to this, so you can get the discount.
Yeah,
go for it. The main roster. That's all you need to say.
Yes.
But speaking of belts,
yes,
and unfortunately Charlotte, she was due to face Asuka in the opening contest of Monday Night Raw, but instead the new women's tag team champions arrived to confront the Raw women's champion. Charlotte did make her way to the ring, closely followed by the Iconics. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay announced that there would be a triple threat tag team match for the women's tag titles at Backlash, with the new champs Sasha and Bayley taking on the Iconics and the former champions Bliss Cross Applesauce. Then, of course, the talk turned to a brawl, and Raw got its very own triple threat tag team match, with Charlotte and Asuka picking up the win. This action spilled into the main event, where Asuka and Charlotte went one-on-one with the Iconics and the tag team champs facing outside the ring. On this occasion, a distraction from number one contender Nia Jax led to Flair getting a victory over the champ. And this is why I'm concerned.
Oh dear. Before you go ranting, can I just say one thing that I liked about this whole thing?
Please do. I'm all about the positives if we can find them.
And it's actually from Charlotte Flair.
Whoa, okay.
It was when Asuka was ranting on, and Charlotte Flair just goes, what she said.
What she said. Yeah. Okay, I like that as well, actually.
That's the only bit I liked. So, but now I can see where this is going.
Yeah. What, with me and where I'm about to rant, or with the story in general? Because the story in general is fairly inevitable as well.
That and you.
She's got to win over the Raw Women's Champion now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's owed a title shot, and as soon as the Nia Jax thing is done, off we go.
Yeah.
Thanks so very, very much.
Great.
At least we only had about 3.5 seconds of Nia Jax on this episode of Raw. That's a bonus.
That's always a bonus. I was very happy for that.
The least amount of Nia Jax I can see, the better.
Yeah.
At least while she is throwing people into ring steps and busting them wide open. If she improves, then by all means, grace my television screen. But until then, go away.
Yes, exactly. But
we discussed a lot of this earlier when we were talking about the tag team champions, so I don't have very much more to say than that.
I don't really, to be honest.
Shall we move swiftly forwards?
We know what's going to happen, so
we know what's going to happen.
But
we know where it's going.
Move swiftly forward to calm you down.
Indeed. And do you know who wasn't on Raw being all stroppy and smashy this week, Dan?
Who was that?
Natalya. And I expect that is because she has been listening to the main roster and she's taken our advice, and she was chilling out backstage with a pack of LSW mind cards. What are LSW mind cards, I hear you ask? Well, humble listener, they are a pack of 45 individually designed cards, each with a tool or task to help you increase your well-being, boost your mood, and help you move towards a more fulfilled life. Visit thejezshow.com/LSW to find out more and pick up a pack of cards that will change your life today or stop you smashing the Kevin Owens show if you are Natalya.
Yes. Exactly. Good. I think we need to get a pack of these cards and just try one out on the show.
We do need to. Yeah, they're not expensive. Like, I don't know why we haven't sorted it out yet. So
we'll get there.
I will make it happen. It's more a case of laziness than anything else, if I'm quite honest.
Moving on with the show, So Christian returned to Raw this week to host the Peep Show with special guest Edge. Christian opened a can of tough love on his partner, telling him, "You're running on fumes. You couldn't pull off the greatest wrestling match ever in your prime. You're starting to buckle, and I don't think you can handle the pressure." This was all a ruse to rile up the rated R superstar, but the confidence party was crushed by Randy Orton, who claims that redemption for Edge is over.
This was a good segment, I think.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. And
I enjoyed it.
Let me just say off the bat that I love Christian. Christian is great.
Yes.
Controversially, I have always been Team Christian rather than Team Edge. He was definitely my favorite of the pair growing up.
Yeah.
Especially when during the period in which Christian was the People's Champion and had his peeps.
Oh yeah.
The first live event that I went to, a Monday Night Raw in Birmingham, I took a Christian sign with me. And the bottom corner of it got on television. The rest of it didn't.
At least he tried.
But it was kind of obvious where Christian was going with his tough love.
Yeah.
That he was obviously being flippant towards Edge and trying to motivate him.
Yeah.
And it played out exactly as we would have liked. It was pretty perfect, to be honest. That said, I feel like they're trying to crawl back and claw away from their greatest match ever decision that they made to call it that.
Yeah.
And as we've previously said, you've got nowhere to go when you claim something is going to be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. It's just, and I think it was on there that they had like a moment for it, and they started playing The Greatest Showman music, The Greatest Show. I was like, really? Really? You're really hyping this up too much. If this is rubbish, this is going to be God.
But the strange thing about it is they being Edge and Randy Orton have spent the entire week kind of downplaying the greatest aspect of it.
Yeah.
Edge has been just tweeting that everything is the greatest thing ever. I think today's one was, "I just had the greatest cup of coffee ever," as if to suggest that calling it the greatest match ever was just their way of being hyperbolic, and it wasn't genuine. But I'm sorry, a massive portion of your audience is going to take it at face value that they are tuning in to the greatest wrestling match ever.
Yep.
And so if you don't deliver that, how can you deliver that? Then you're immediately disappointing people. It's not a clever move, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Not doing well, shall we say.
But yay, Christian.
Yeah. Christian.
Christian!
That was very musical.
Thanks. Moving on then.
Yeah.
To earn an opportunity for Apollo Crews' United States Championship at Backlash, a triple threat match took place with Kevin Owens, Andrade, and Angel Garza squaring off. Despite beginning the match on the same page, Andrade and Garza would eventually come to blows, and this resulted in Zelina Vega being knocked down. Andrade would use this conflict to his advantage, and after Garza had been worn down by Owens, Andrade would slip in and pin his own partner for the victory.
Yeah. Zelina Vega's stable's kind of imploding.
That's an explosion.
Explosion. You got it in.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, so this is happening.
It is a thing, yeah. It's not a match that happened. It is a
thing.
A story that is happening, I guess.
Yeah, you could call that.
The only problem is I just don't care.
I don't really.
What do I, the average viewer, care whether the Zelina Vega stable breaks up?
I don't know.
They're heels. I'm not invested in them.
No. Nope.
But similar to the last segment, yay Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I'm still glad that Apollo Crews has got his championship.
Yeah, and he's got swanky new entrance music as well.
Yeah.
Wanted to hear more of that on Raw. It was quite difficult to hear, as is tradition for a new entrance theme. They kind of play it a little bit quieter for some reason. They've always done it all the way back as far as I can remember watching wrestling. When a new entrance theme debuts, with the exception of The Fiend last year at SummerSlam, they kind of turn the volume down a bit so you can't fully hear it, or I don't know, record it. I don't know why they do it, but they do.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get that released on, your usual Spotify's and YouTube musics and things soon, so you can listen to it properly.
Yeah, I want to listen to it properly. I mean, I listened to the new Seth Rollins one that's just come out.
If they released that now?
Yeah, it's on YouTube now and all that. So I listened to that, and it's not too bad actually for his character. Fits the character, so
it does. Yeah, it's not really kind of afternoon listening, but
no, but I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah. No, let me know when Apollo Crews' theme is on there, and let me know when Johnny Gargano's new one is on there as well, because that's a fire theme at the same time.
I'll keep an eye out.
Slight tangent into the music. Maybe we should discuss the music of WWE sometime, because there's a lot there to talk about.
There is. But
certainly a whole lot more than was in that segment. But should we move on to
let's move on.
The climax of Monday Night Raw.
So, in their final meeting before Backlash, Drew McIntyre came face to face in MVP's VIP lounge. After a mostly uneventful meeting, Lashley and MVP took on the Viking Raiders with Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits at ringside. The match ended, predictably, with Bobby Lashley locking in the full Nelson on Eric. After the match, Ivor was locked in it too until Drew McIntyre nailed Lashley with the Claymore to break it up and send his number one contender scurrying. Can I just say how pinpoint accurate Drew McIntyre's Claymore was to not hit the Viking Raiders?
Yeah. No, I mean, he's got that Claymore down to an art.
Yes.
Which is really interesting considering... do you know the origin of the Claymore? Have you heard that story?
I have not.
So, I can't remember where I heard it, but it was from Drew McIntyre himself in an interview or on a podcast or something. The way that the Claymore was invented was actually an accident.
Oh, right.
Because back in the 3MB days, Drew McIntyre used a big boot quite a lot. Kind of not a full running style like Test used to do, but at least with a bit of momentum. Big boot, knock you down and kind of follow through.
Yeah.
But one day, he was doing it outside the ring, and the matting was slick, and he slipped.
Oh, right.
And that created something that looks now what the Claymore looks like. So when he watched it back on television and he saw how amazing it looked to kind of be like laying backwards as he kicked someone in the face, he went away and
made that,
kind of learned how to do it safely as an exclusive move.
Yeah.
And thus the Claymore was born.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a cool story. I love things that are kind of born out of accidents or come out of nothing.
Yeah.
And it's really fitting for Drew McIntyre, given his history with 3MB and how it's taken him a long time to get where he needed to be. That his finisher was an accident, basically.
I think it's pretty cool.
But speaking of, can I just say this? And you knew it was going to happen at some point. Nelson from The Simpsons. And this is the first time on the podcast that we have discussed the Viking Raiders Street Profits kind of rivalry thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to George, who's just tuned in over on Facebook. Welcome. We haven't talked about it at all, and I think that's kind of telling of the what the hell kind of nature of it.
Yeah.
What have you thought of all of the you can't even call it a rivalry, the games that the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders have been playing?
I think they've been entertaining, but not that bothered.
And utterly pointless.
Yeah.
Because I thought with the decathlon thing ending in a tie that we would be going towards, okay, well, we've just got to settle it, the way that we know how, the way that we always do. And that's with a wrestling match at a pay-per-view for the championships that we have been holding for a long time.
Yeah.
And not actually defending.
Yeah.
Hello, Alex.
We're getting everyone now coming in.
We're getting everyone at the end of the show, which is fine. They can join in for the Backlash predictions. That's all good with me. But the fact that we haven't felt the need to discuss it kind of shows that it hasn't really been
it's not really
anything. It hasn't really been worth discussing.
It's just meh. That's the only way I can describe it, is meh.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I kind of feel the same way about Bobby Lashley getting a WWE Championship match.
Yeah.
This whole thing building up to it has been more about MVP than it's been Lashley.
Yeah.
It's been MVP's rivalry with Lana and pulling Lashley away from her.
Yeah.
And it's MVP getting revenge for Drew McIntyre telling him to shove it before WrestleMania, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it. So
non-events all around, and that was our main event. I'll go home on Monday Night Raw before a pay-per-view.
Yep. God.
So there we go. I suppose we have nothing else to do then, but move on to predicting the pay-per-view. Let's start out then with your boy Jeff Hardy against Sheamus. Oh dear, don't do that. This is live on Facebook, on Twitter.
Yes, I know.
It's live everywhere, and you just did that.
Well, I think you can tell I'm a Jeff Hardy fan by the facts of these belts anyway, so...
No, I did not know. There are no signifiers whatsoever in front of my eyes.
But yes,
your prediction?
I'll have Jeff Hardy.
You think Jeff Hardy's going to win?
Yeah. And that is actually genuinely not that I obviously a big fan of Jeff Hardy, but I genuinely think Jeff Hardy's going to win anyway. So
I'm less convinced. Based on what we said earlier, and that this is just a straight up one-on-one match, and that Jeff Hardy's pissed. Jeff Hardy's very upset with what Sheamus has done to him. So I think that this match will end with Sheamus winning by disqualification, because Jeff Hardy will take this way too far.
Yeah.
And then that will build to the grudge match, the no DQ, the cage, whatever. Some kind of stipulation match where Jeff Hardy cannot get disqualified for a second time.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see a big brawl between them anyway.
Yeah. They'll probably be split apart during this, and we'll have to wait a bit longer, but
probably
that's fine. Next then, Women's Tag Team Championships. The triple threat between Bliss Cross, Sasha and Bayley, and the Iconics.
Now, I think, number one, I love Alexa Bliss, so I'm going to go for Bliss Cross. But there is another reason. I think they're going to break up the Iconics.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can't agree with you there.
Have you noticed that there's been a bit of tension? Like, was it Billy Kay slapped?
Oh yeah,
Peyton?
but that was because she was being hysterical and immediately was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I don't see it. I'm sorry. Right. If you're right, then it's the greatest prediction of all time. But I don't think. Yeah. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, and I just think Bliss Cross anyway.
Okay. Well, I don't think the Iconics are going to win.
No.
And as I mentioned previously, I think we're going to have some back and forth with the belts and kind of have them build up some multi-time champions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that Bliss Cross Applesauce win as well.
Yeah.
So we're agreeing on this one. Could be a pointless prediction in terms of our competition, but we've got some definite mixed opinions in the comments as well.
Yeah,
so we'll see
looking at them.
Who comes out on top. The Raw Women's Championship then. Asuka and Nia Jax.
Asuka.
This is fairly cut and dry, as I think Asuka is going to win. Yeah.
If Nia Jax wins,
we riot.
I'm going to, I don't know, something.
I'm going to write a strongly worded tweet.
Yes. I am indeed.
Sir, I am disgruntled. I do not agree with your match booking decisions.
I should challenge you to a duel.
Please strip Nia Jax of the championship immediately. United States Championship. Apollo Crews and Andrade.
I think Apollo Crews.
Yeah. And I think that Angel Garza is the reason that Apollo Crews wins.
He's going to interfere.
Yeah, either accidentally, derpy accidentally, or deliberately accidentally.
Yeah.
Either way, we're moving into Angel Garza against Andrade in some kind of thing. Maybe even fighting for the services of Zelina Vega, possibly.
I wonder what Aleister Black thinks of that.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're allowed to do that kind of thing anymore. Fight for women. Is that even allowed in our culture anymore? I don't know.
I have no idea. God knows.
So yeah, we both go Apollo Crews on that one.
Let's move swiftly on.
The greatest wrestling match ever: Edge and Randy Orton. First of all, and I already know your answer. Predict: is this going to be the greatest wrestling match ever?
Probably not.
Nope. And that's not to say it's going to be bad.
No, it's not going to be bad. I think
these guys can wrestle for sure.
I think it'll be a good match, and I think we'll enjoy it. But I just don't think it'll be the greatest wrestling match of all time.
No, and I don't think Randy Orton does himself any favors taking the piss out of the NXT guys at Takeover and their knee slapping good time, as he put it.
I like that bit.
Because he's going to have the brunt of an entire NXT roster taking the piss out of him when this isn't the greatest wrestling match ever.
Yeah.
And that reflects badly on Edge, which is not the point. Yeah. Who do you think then?
Who's going to win? I really don't know.
Right, I'll get in front of you on this one then.
You say yours.
And then you can copy me. I think Edge has to win this.
Yeah.
There's no reason that he doesn't go 2 in a row on Randy Orton in my book. I think Edge is the obvious winner.
Well, I'm good just to mix it up. I'm going to go Randy Orton then, so we have a difference. Because thinking of it, Randy Orton lost at WrestleMania to Edge. So Randy Orton will want some redemption in that sort of way. But
Daniel, in your scenario, they have to go to a third match.
Yeah, I know, but you have to remember one thing.
No.
This is WWE.
No. Are you trying to make me cry?
Do you need to get the LSW mine cards?
I need to chill out in some way, yeah. I can chill out when Edge wins and we can move on to other opponents.
Yeah, but you know it's not going to happen.
I hope it does. I just... Please, whoever's watching... WWE, End it. End it at Backlash. No matter who wins. End the rivalry. Send Edge on to someone else.
Give him a title.
Preferably Drew McIntyre, yeah.
Deep down in your black soul that WWE are going to drag this out. Because it's WWE.
Why is my soul black? That's a bit harsh.
Because I don't have a soul.
Fair enough. Okay, so you are going Randy Orton, I'm going Edge. So
yes.
One of us will get a point there.
Yeah.
You'd assume. The Universal Championship. Braun Strowman versus John Morrison and The Miz.
Braun Strowman.
Enough said. And finally, the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. Sorry, I was just reading a comment. George says, sadly, think the closest I'm going to get to watching wrestling is watching this. Yeah, you might be right.
Let's have a wrestling match over webcam.
Socially distanced. Let's lock up.
But that's it.
That's it. Yeah, Drew McIntyre. I would be genuinely shocked if Bobby Lashley walked away with the WWE Championship in this match.
Oh God, yeah.
It's going to happen sometime, but
yes,
we're not there
now.
yet.
No.
Not in this rivalry.
Not in my lifetime.
Okay. Well, you've just put a clock on yourself because I think Lashley will win the championship one day, but not today.
Not today. Oh, I think we're slowly going mad, aren't we?
We are a bit. So, on that note, as we come up to our usual hour, we're pretty good at keeping it to an hour. I'm fairly impressed with this. I would like to thank everyone that's tuned in to this new variety of the main roster, live everywhere. Pulled in some viewers from places we've never broadcast before, so that's cool. Sweet. Thanks for joining us. If you joined late, this whole episode will be available on at least YouTube. I think some other places keep an archive as well. Or if you prefer the podcast version, that'll be going up, fingers crossed, in the next hour or two, and be ready for your morning commute in the morning, if that is a thing that you do in these times of staying at home and not commuting.
Oh, we got someone saying good show.
Good
show, keep it up. How lovely.
We will. We weren't going to, but now that you've told us to, we will.
We were going to let it slowly go downhill.
And finally, if people want to contact you on social media, Dan, how do they do that?
So just on Twitter, follow me at DannyT259.
Lovely. In that case, I will bid us adieu and start our slick outro music. Hopefully you'll join us next week as we run through Backlash. And if you want more main roster, go back and check out our other episodes. They're all there. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Main Roster, a production of The Jez Show. Find more of our content at thejezshow.com or on our social media channels. On Facebook at facebook.com/thejezshow, on Twitter at thejezshow, or on Instagram at thejezshow_IG. Please like, comment, and subscribe wherever you tuned into this broadcast. And please, join us next time on The Main Roster.